Friday evening, as I do through most weeks, I was struggling with the scriptures given us for this Sunday, read the gospel just before I went to bed, and after I fell asleep, had a fragment of a dream. In the dream, Jesus came to me and wanted to engage me in a discussion around the question he raised to the disciples in the gospel we've just heard. I was so distraught not wanting to get into that conversation with Christ that I woke up. I have that capacity to interrupt dreams and wake up when I don't like them. But the next morning, when I rose, I thought to myself, Jesus has every right to ask me that same question. And so I spent the day yesterday trying to allow myself to enter into dialogue with Jesus the Christ. And I wrote it down, and I want to share it with you this morning. So there are two voices here. I'm not going to try to fake the voices. Two people speaking, myself and Jesus. But you, who do you say that I am? Oh no, please. It's good and sometimes inspirational to hear your first followers struggle with that question, but don't ask me. But I really want to know, he said. Who you think I am affects my relationship with you and how open you can be to the gifts I send your way and to the challenges that following me will place in your path. Right. And that's why I don't want to have to answer, at least not out loud, at least not directly to you here and now. I'm afraid that my answer might show me things I don't want to see. He said, but did you ever think your answer might also reveal things that may bring you unexpected joy and perhaps show you how much more you can become? And besides, how much good will being afraid do you? Fear is like covering the road you will walk along anyway with foot after foot of sand. You'll be following the same way, but it'll be so much harder than it needs to be. So do not fear. It's me that's asking, and it's me who stands by you and loves you. Take a deep breath and begin to speak it. Who do you say that I am? Okay, I said. If I have to, I will try. Jesus, you are the center of everything that is. In my life, but surely not only there. In my life, you are love at the center. And because you are, I'm able to love. In my life, you are compassion. And so I'm able to see the sufferings of others and strong enough to be willing to suffer with them. In my life, you are wisdom at the center. And so I don't have to remain on the surface of life. I can take a breath and dive down and understand a bit of what's underneath the things that happen and that are said in this world every day. In my life, you are the still center, so I can refuse to move at the breathless pace the world demands. I can slow down and breathe deeply and really see people, really talk with them and hear them, really come to know them. Jesus, in my life, you are the silence at the center. After all the words are spoken, or after hard or angry words are spoken, or after a period of painful noise all around, when the silence falls, that's you still here, still with me, still loving. So I can begin there, looking at you at the center of my life. I see, he responded, but you don't know me only in your individual life. Oh no, I said, that's only the beginning. I'm only connected to other people. I'm only part of a mission to the world. I'm only freed from suffocating loneliness by you. You, Lord, call people together always and everywhere. And since I live in a land of ever-increasing division and anger, that call to be together, to be a people gathered around you and to be granted the possibility to really live that way, that's a huge blessing. Being one little part of your church gives me perspective on a world where I see so many people alone, disconnected from anyone else, and not finding places of connection either. So you, Lord, linking me to a body with others who are yours, this gives me hope. Oh, and I love how that being connected is not just with people who live near me, it's with people all over the world, in every place. And I love how that being connected is not just with people who are alive now, while I am living. The connection is with generations of people. When the prophet Isaiah says, "Look to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who bore you," he's speaking to me. And when Paul writes to the church at Rome in the first century that we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually we are members one of another, Paul is writing just as truly to me, even though millions would live and die between the time he wrote those words and the day of my birth. Yes, Jesus answered, all of them are mine. I have been with them in joy and in disaster, and I've never ceased to hold them close in my heart. I would give my life for any one of them. And you did, I said. And he nodded. But he looked me right in the eye and said, but this can all sound like a still life painting. There's life and movement, isn't there, in our belonging and in our living? Of course, I said, it's all about life and movement. I read the Gospels and you are always on the move. And those who belong to you are literally following, sometimes even running to keep up with you. And for us who live now, it's the same. You give us a mission, and you give us the strength to work at it, to rejoice in what good is accomplished, and not to despair when failures come. And you, he asked, how do you describe that mission? Oh, wow, I said, you're doing it again. It's up to you to describe the mission, Lord. I can describe all I want, he answered. But if no one is taking up the cause and doing it, my describing remains only that. So yes, it's important to hear from you and from the people around you. How do you understand the mission you have from me? I said, well, first of all, it's a mission that has to do with self-sacrificing love, because it's your mission that continues in us now. And so it's a mission that I can't place limits on. but again and again have to learn how to cooperate with you in that work of connecting us to one another in ways we otherwise would not be related. It also means giving praise to your Father together in the power of the Holy Spirit. It means encouraging one another to good life, to knowing that we live in your presence always, and to a life of prayer where our inner spirit is always in dialogue with your spirit. And it means sharing your story with other people, with our children, with anyone who's willing to listen. And while doing that, it means respecting what others believe, even if that differs from our own faith. I took a breath, and he nodded, and then he asked, "Is there more?" "Much more. I don't think I can find words for it all at once," I said. "One other part of it I have come to know firsthand is that the people who come into our lives come from you. They come as gifts to encourage me to keep going on sometimes. Other times they come as challenges." "What kind of challenges?" Jesus asked. I said, "Sometimes the challenge of those who are just hard to get along with." I used to presume that had to do with them, but now I know it just as easily might have to do with me. But whatever be the cause, learning how to live with, believe with, worship with, work with people who are difficult to be with is a great gift. It's there where the growing edges of possibility in life and in receiving new graces from you really are. He said, "Well then, perhaps I should send you more of those difficult people." I was getting a little fresh and I answered, "Don't put yourself out." But then I had to add, and sometimes the challenge is that the people you send toward us in life have so many needs, genuine needs. It's so tempting to turn away or to push them away. Jesus answered, "People often seek comfort in me, and comfort is here to be found, and it will be given. But comfort before accepting these challenges, seeking comfort before working the mission, is not the way to life. It's the way to death. The way to life, including life beyond death," he said, "is in moving toward the ones in deepest need." So often, he said to me, you ask each other what can be done for them and end up not knowing really what to do. Begin first by asking me. I will provide you the energy and open the way to insight. I will reveal pathways to new possibilities that otherwise you will not see. Turn to me, call on me, ask me. I will respond. "Thank you for that reminder," I said, and I meant it. I needed to hear that. "Now, Lord, can I ask you a question since I've tried to answer yours?" "Always," he said, and he smiled. I asked, "Okay then, who do you say that I am?" "Well done," Jesus responded, turning it right around. He paused and was quiet. Then he looked toward me intently and he said, "I've been listening for over 2,000 years to how you all in each generation try to express what it means to be a follower of mine, to be a disciple. Some of those expressions I kind of like. And," he added, "I appreciate all the attempts people give. I'll take one of them to answer you today. Who do I say that you are?" You are a hearer of my word and a doer of that word as well. Sometimes you get it better than other times. Sometimes you mess up pretty completely. But always, Just begin again. Just listen again. Just open the book again. Just talk faith with sisters and brothers again. Hear, and you will know what you are to do. And if it seems unclear, I say it again, come to me, speak to me, ask me. I will never leave you alone along the way. Rather, I am always with you, all of you, until the end. At that moment in his eyes, I saw a light that must have been what Peter and James and John saw on the mountain of Transfiguration. I was tired, but very happy too. Amen. Brothers and sisters, I'd invite you to dare to spend some time this week answering Jesus' question in your own way. Who do you say that he is? And genuinely listen for his response.